Hey gang, and welcome to Austin Dental Spa for Wisdom Wednesday, our last final episode of 2020. I couldn't wait to hear myself say that. The year of the mask, as 2020 is probably going to come to be known, and the year of the absurd for sure. It's been a crazy year. I think most of everybody out there will agree. We've been through some things this year that I hope we never go through again, and certainly in my 67 years on this earth, first time I've been through some of these things. Every dental office in the United States being shut down for the months of March and April, and some of them all the way into August up in the Northeast, until numbers started coming down and different governors went about things differently. The whole world was just a crazy place compared to a year ago. So nobody, I don't think, could have predicted 2020 turning out the way it did. But hey, we learned a few things. And that's what we should be focusing on right now. I love these end of the year things that we're getting inundated with this week as news stations start to put together little kind of programs about what are the most important things that happened this year, what are the top 10 foods that people ate while they were shut down at home, what were the top 10 things that got delivered. Probably pizzas were right up there at the top of the list, which businesses were considered essential and which ones were not. Who made the decision that Walmart and Costco were essential businesses, but the mom and pop little grocery stores were not? Those are all things that we'll be talking about for years to come. I don't know about you, but I am certainly going to be happy to stay up till midnight tomorrow night just so I can say that I saw 2020 through till the bitter end, and it's in the rear view mirror now. Just remember, there's a reason why the rearview mirror in your car is much smaller than the windshield, because they want you looking forward, not backward. And so let's keep that in mind as we move into 2021. We're clearly not done with all this stuff yet. Numbers are going up just as everybody suspected that they would when the weather started getting colder again, and cold and rainy, and any kind of virus, whether it's flu or COVID, they go hand in hand. And so this is typically known as flu season in the winter time, especially in areas of the country and the world that get cold and rainy and don't see much sunshine. So I want to go back over some of the things that we talked about starting back in March, and just kind of review what you might have learned here on Wisdom Wednesday. One of the things we hit home very hard, very early on, is one of the few things you have control of is what you put into your body and what you allow to be around your body, especially while we were isolated, sheltered at home for most of the months of March and April. And I started pounding the whole idea of eating healthy. Using that opportunity to choose what you ate at home and eat healthy. There's lots of diets out there that are low in fats. Well, not all fats are bad. Saturated fats are bad because they're long fatty acid chains that are hard, if not impossible, for your body to digest. Unsaturated fats are not bad for you, and in fact, all those diets that try to completely eliminate fats or knock it down below 10%, we're missing some of the points that nuts, seeds, avocados are a great source of unsaturated fats. Those are broken down by your body very easily, and they're actually healthy for you. Extra virgin olive oil has unsaturated fats in it. So all those things can be healthy if eaten in moderate quantities, just like everything else, in everything in moderation. But anyway, we started hitting home the eat healthy at the very beginning, and that's something that just now is starting to hit the mainstream media, that they're talking about eating healthier, and especially supplements. I started talking about supplements way back in March, that vitamin C, D, E, zinc, and magnesium are all important to immune system function. And so C, D, and E. Now all of a sudden Anthony Fauci is even finally talking about vitamin D. Why it took them 9 months to start talking about this, that hey, you should be supplementing with it. And Dr. Fauci even said, oh yeah, I've been taking vitamin D since all this stuff started. Why didn't he say that back in March? I did. So those things have been known for a long, long time to boost your immune system. So you can't do anything about whether you may or may not get exposed to it if you're going to go out in public and be around other people, but you can do something about making your immune system stronger and more robust so that if you do get exposed, you're less likely to contract or get sick with COVID. Not everybody that gets exposed actually contracts the virus to a point where they're sick. And you've seen that in the papers. Some people get basically cold or flu symptoms, and that's about it for 2 or 3 days, and they're fine. Other people end up in the hospital and die. So one of the things that they're just starting to find and publish is the astounding correlation between vitamin D levels and morbidity in this disease. They're finding that most of the people that end up on ventilators in the hospitals and that end up succumbing to COVID-2 were low in vitamin D. And it was especially true in countries like Italy and Germany, where it gets cold and dark for 4 or 5 months out of the year. That daylight is helpful for vitamin D production in your body. Getting out in the sunlight, getting out and exercising, which is another thing on my list. But anyway, vitamin D supplementation, very important. I noticed at Randall's the other day, I was just about out and I went over to the vitamin section, completely wiped out of vitamin D. So people are listening, but supplement, eat healthy and supplement because you can't get enough in even the healthiest of diet. You're not going to get enough vitamin C, D, and E just by eating well. You need to supplement to boost your body if you want to protect yourself. Another big one that we talked about quite a bit early on is reduce your stress level. Now, that's easier said than done, but there are ways to do it. Meditation, sitting in a quiet room with some good music playing, thinking positive thoughts, all those things can help you reduce your stress level. So find some way to do it. Watch a good movie that makes you feel good. All those things can help reduce your stress level. And one thing doesn't work for everybody. It's different for everybody, but reducing stress is very helpful because a high stress level also affects your immune system negatively and makes you more susceptible to things. Increasing exercise, we talked about quite a bit way back in March and April. Get out and walk. Here in Austin, it was sunny and sun shining all through the shutdown period. So we have this beautiful hike and bike trail right close to downtown. There's all these parks out that there was no reason for you not to get out and walk 20 minutes a day, early in the morning when no one else was around. Different times of the day, you could find areas to get out in the sunshine and enjoy yourself and increase your exercise level, because increase in exercise level, even just 20 minutes a day of walking, boosts your immune system. So seeing the link here, I'm tying everything into your immune system. Laugh. That's another thing we spent one whole Wisdom Wednesday on. Is I gave 3 YouTube videos that you could watch that were about 15 to 20 minutes long each, that if you could get through those videos without laughing, more power to you. They to me, they were hilarious. I still watch them some of the times. And you can find anything. Different things make different people laugh. Some people like the Charlie Chaplin slapstick humor, Laurel and Hardy, where one guy reaches out and smacks the other one in the face, Chevy Chase kind of stuff. If you didn't see Christmas Vacation while you're still here and it's still showing on TV, you got to watch that. It's one of the funniest Christmas movies of all time with Cousin Eddie. And it's just, you can't get through that movie without finding at least one thing that just makes you burst out laughing. So find some reason to laugh. And lastly, we talked on one whole Wisdom Wednesday about this, sleep. It's been proven that people who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night sometimes even more. Your body heals when you're asleep. Your immune system gets boosted when you're asleep. So get enough sleep. A lot of people were stressed. All these things kind of factored in, and they weren't getting enough sleep, and they weren't eating well, and they were stressed all the time. You're just increasing the chance that if you do get exposed to this virus, that you're going to contract something, and that you're going to get sick from something else too. So don't go there. These are all pretty simple things. There's 6 different things to do that can boost you starting right now. This is a great time for New Year's resolutions. I had a couple of friends that it was September before they realized their gym was closed. They were still paying the monthly memberships, and the gym had been closed since March. So don't be one of those people. If you belong to a gym, go there and work out. You can find times when nobody else is around. Most of the gyms were really, really early on, as soon as they were allowed to open in June, wiping the equipment down. I go and work out with a personal trainer every Thursday. I'm so glad Christmas and New Year's are on a Friday this year, because now Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve were on Thursdays. I didn't have to see my personal trainer. I'm going to pay for it next Thursday, but I got 2 weeks off this week. Of course, I worked out on my own, but it's not quite the same. These guys, as soon as I put a set of weights down, they're wiping them down with Lysol, and they're social distancing. So most of the responsible gyms, the Golds and the places like that cater to people coming in and used to be full of people, they're doing a good job of limiting the number of people that can get into any one area at any given time. So avail yourself of that. Take care of your bodies, take care of yourself. Let's start out 2021 healthy and happy, and hopefully at the end of the year next year, I'm not standing here giving some kind of dissertation like I just did about the year in review with as many crazy things going on. And we will get through this. Happy 2020. Try to find something positive that happened during the year 2020. It's got to be something good that happened. A lot of bad things happen. That's easy to find the negatives. Focus on the positives for this one last day, the last 24 hours of 2020, and let's get it in the rearview mirror and focus on 2021. Have a happy new year. I'll see you next year for our first episode of Wisdom Wednesday 2021.